The Biden documents. What's really going on?
Mr. Reagan.
So Joe Biden has been caught hoarding classified documents scattered about his properties, as well as the University of Pennsylvania, for some reason. They're unsecured. Any visitor or common thief might have come in and stolen them at any time. Kind of ironic that he vilified Donald Trump for exactly the same thing.
It's just totally irresponsible.
Now, when this story initially broke, a lot of conservatives noted the obvious hypocrisy in the media. The leftist media blew up the Trump story. They called for his arrest. They claimed that he was planning to sell nuclear secrets to the Russians, as if it was the 1940s and the Russians don't already have nuclear weapons. But when it came to the Biden documents, that was okay. That was just an honest mistake, and it's fine. It's not a big deal at all. But I think it was the raid on Mar-a-Lago that has been the cause of most of the consternation with Republicans. I see a lot of my conservative compatriots shouting, "Where's the raid on the Biden properties?" But I actually think that this is the wrong tack. I think we need to be careful with this. I think the Democrats are being far more sinister here than what we might think. And it's important that we pay close attention to what they're really doing. So what is it that they're really doing? I'll explain that in one moment. First, I have to sell you something. Noble Gold Investments is pleased to let you know that gold is the best investment class for 2022. Through our record-breaking inflation rate, crashing market, and crypto scams, there is one asset that has held its own: gold. According to longtermtrends.net, gold has actually outperformed the S&P 500, Dow, and Bitcoin for 2022. Had you invested in the Dow a year ago, you would be down almost 10%. If you'd invested in the S&P 500 a year ago, you'd be down more than 20%. Had you invested in Bitcoin a year ago, you would be down more than 65%. Yes, gold has outperformed them all in 2022, and silver is not far behind. While the world was hailing other assets, the real hedge, gold and silver, are the only assets that would have protected your wealth. So join thousands of others by opening a gold IRA or silver IRA with Noble Gold Investments. Get in before the end of this month and you will bag a free 1/4 ounce American Gold Eagle coin with every qualified IRA of $50,000 or more. You cannot go wrong with Noble Gold Investments, and there are thousands of 5-star reviews. As soon as I heard about the Biden document story, it struck me as suspicious. CNN broke the story, a left-wing media organization. That seemed awfully strange. They never report unflattering news about Democrats these days. And this story, given the Trump document scandal, seemed like it had the potential to be career-ending for Joe Biden. So why would Democrats let this story be released to the public? Clearly, it was something that they wanted to be reported. But why? Did Biden even actually leave classified documents in his garage, or were they planted there for some nefarious purpose? The way I see it, there are 3 possibilities. 1, Joe Biden really did leave documents just lying around his various properties. The Democrats knew that the Republican Congress was going to discover this, and they wanted to get out ahead of the scandal. It could be that simple. If it is that simple, then yeah, sure. Talking about Democrat hypocrisy in the media, talking about how the FBI should be raiding Joe Biden's homes and all that kind of stuff, I guess that's fine. But I don't think it is that simple. Second possibility. They know that Donald Trump didn't actually do anything wrong when he took documents from the White House. And because he didn't do anything wrong, they know they can't indict him. They know they can't arrest him. They can't prosecute him. They can't convict him. He broke no laws. But if the media can convince enough Americans that taking documents is a crime, then they can create the illusion that indicting, arresting, prosecuting, and convicting Trump is legitimate. Democrats would just need the cooperation of the FBI and a corrupt judge. These are easy tasks for Democrats in Washington, D.C. And in order to convince the public that taking documents out of the White House is illegal for a president, what better way than to go after Joe Biden for that very thing? Biden would become the sacrificial lamb, and that's fine, because Democrats don't really want Joe Biden to run in 2024 anyway. And so this kills 2 birds with 1 stone. The third possibility is that Democrats planted these documents in order to protect Joe Biden. The idea is that if there's a special counsel investigation into Joe Biden, congressional Republicans will not be able to subpoena Biden administration documents because these documents will be part of an ongoing special counsel investigation. Now, I've heard this theory proposed from a few sources, and I don't really understand it. A congressional investigation should not interfere with a special counsel investigation just because they both want access to the same documents. There was a process developed in 1938 called photocopying, and this process could alleviate any problems that might arise from any overlapping document requests. Now, joking aside, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not familiar with the laws around this stuff, but it seems as if there are some concerns about a special counsel investigation being used as a bulwark against a congressional investigation of Joe Biden. I don't know how legitimate those concerns are. I will leave that to lawyers and other congressional scholars, people like that. But I find the second possibility here much more intriguing. If this is part of a sinister plot to oust Joe Biden and to prosecute Donald Trump, well, then we have to be very careful about encouraging any kind of legal pursuit against Joe Biden over this. And look, this is not just me. This is not just my theory entirely. There are a lot of people out there speculating that the Joe Biden documents were planted. Stephen Miller wrote, "They did not just suddenly find a box of highly classified documents next to Joe Biden's Corvette. A lot more is going on here than meets the eye. A lot more." And I agree with him. Kash Patel even dropped the name of the person he thinks is the ringleader of this Biden plot, Susan Rice.
I think this is a play by Susan Rice and the Democrats and Obama to get rid of Joe Biden for 2024 and Hunter Biden in one fell swoop, because they know that if he runs against Donald Trump, he's going to lose.
And so it looks like there are several conservatives that are all coalescing around this idea that the Biden documents were planted for some sinister plot. Now, Kash Patel states in his interview that he predicts that the FBI will drop all charges against Joe Biden in the same way that James Comey dropped the charges against Hillary Clinton in her criminal mishandling of classified emails back in 2016. And he thinks that if they do this, well, then they also must exonerate Donald Trump. But on this point, I disagree. Democrats are not that fair. The FBI and the DOJ may well dismiss the case against Biden. However, they will certainly try to create a distinction between the Biden document scandal and the Trump documents scandal. They'll be like, this is worse than Watergate, because that's what they always say about anything that Trump does. Now, here's why I think this. Even if they know that they cannot legitimately convict Donald Trump of any crime related to the documents found at Mar-a-Lago, if they can trick the public into thinking that some kind of a crime exists, then they might be able to indict, arrest, prosecute, and convict Donald Trump in federal court. There are federal judges that are corrupt enough to go along with this political theater. Now, Trump will, of course, appeal, and such a conviction will eventually be overturned. But how long will that take? Before Trump can overturn such a conviction on appeal, the 2024 primary elections will probably already be over. Then, checkmate. Democrats win. The Democrats would win by shenanigans, by political theater. And I truly believe that the Democrats are that sinister. And look, I know this is a worst case scenario, and I'm not trying to cause any kind of mass hysteria about the intentions of Democrats. This is, after all, just a theory. It's my own political speculation. But I have seen what Democrats are willing to do in order to stay in power and in order to keep Donald Trump out of office. And so, yeah, I'm pretty quick to assume the worst. Now, what do I think the chances are that I'm right on this one? Truthfully, I'm not sure. I'll say 50-50. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But before we go, there is one other interesting thing about this Biden scandal, and it's how our Constitution restricts the vice president's time in office. The 22nd Amendment says no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than once. That means if the president dies, you're vice president, you take over, and you're there for more than 2 years, then you can only get reelected one more time. However, if you're there for less than 2 years, you can be reelected 2 more times. Biden took office on January 20th, 2021, and so January 21st, 2023 would mark the end of Joe Biden's first 2 years in office. If Biden steps down after January 20th, Kamala can then take over for the remainder of his first term and then run again in 2024 and then again in 2028. She could, legally speaking, be president for 10 years. Now, this has been speculated for quite a while now. Everybody thought the Democrats would do something to get Joe Biden out of office on January 21st, 2023. And now it looks like this classified documents plot could very well be the mechanism by which this plan is executed. Now, I don't believe Kamala could ever legitimately win a general election against Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis, or a leaf blower for that matter, but we are not necessarily talking about legitimate election wins here now, are we? Well, that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments section below. And remember, it's not that our liberal friends are ignorant. It's just that they know so much that is not so. Good night.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.